Seen before. All right, there we go. So we're going to start off with the vintage collection. And of course, as mentioned, the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi is going to be a big beat next year. I think it takes the logo a little while to get up, which is fine. So 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi is going to be one of our biggest beats in 2023. It's the conclusion of our 40th anniversaries. We started these in 2017, now we're finishing it off, and then it's 4 years until we start doing 58-year anniversaries in 2027. Can't wait for that. So the first items we're sharing, we pipeline revealed, and they're repacks. These are our specialty wave. We want to get them back into the line. We just want to show what the product will look like because there's a few updates, but then we will definitely get to some brand newly tooled vintage items, which is great. So the first 4 items that we're showing, obviously again, we pipeline revealed these. I'm sure you guys are familiar with these items since they're re-releases, so we'll go through the details quickly. So obviously first there we see Woof, which I love saying that name. He has great texture with that soft goods skirt, obviously very iconic to this item. The deco really pops on this item with the scaly texture of his portrait. Obviously he comes with his removable hood, his removable bandolier, the blaster pistol, and his staff. Up next is the Cathaba Skiff Guard, VC56 of course. He's going to be re-released with his red bandana variant, since that obviously matches the card back for this character. And of course comes with his staff and blaster pistol. Nikto Skiffguard VC99 shows that great Nikto portrait and comes with the blaster pistol as well as his vibro staff. And then last but not least, the most recent one, obviously this one is I think 4 years old, came out in 2019. Salt Murray, of course, better known as Yak Face, VC132. He comes with that soft goods robe and his vibro staff. Staffs are apparently very hot right now. Everyone's got a staff, so I need to get myself a staff.
I don't have a staff.
I know, we'll get you one, Alex.
Are we getting any staffs this weekend?
I know, hey, everyone needs a staff. We'll make it happen. Star Wars authentic. And a quick look at the packaging here for these. Again, this should look familiar. These are re-releases. All of these figures will come in their original film-out packaging with, of course, that special logo. Everything in the 40th line will have that special logo. So, that is our specialty wave, but up next, we do have our first newly tooled item here in the vintage collection for the Return of the Jedi 40th. We pipeline revealed it already, so you know it's coming, but we thought it was really important to retool this item. It's so iconic. It's our first newly tooled vehicle in a long time. Ooh. It is, of course, not woo, woo. It is, of course, the speeder bike and biker scout. So Return of the Jedi brought us some really great vehicles, right? And this is one of those most iconic vehicles from that great third act from Return of the Jedi, the Endor scene. We see it a lot of different characters ride it. And we definitely wanted to do the definitive version of this item, so that we can set all of those amazing chase scenes. Again, it's fully newly tooled from the ground up. Basically, the previous one wasn't quite entertainment accurate, and knowing the importance of that detail, we wanted to get out the definitive version of the speeder bike for the Return of the Jedi 40th celebration, since it is so important. And it is more detailed than ever before. So some new great photos here. The opening, you can see there in the image, the opening front end opens up, obviously to display the engine internals. This is similar to what we did with our Black Series speeder bike several years ago, and we wanted to achieve that same detail here in the new definitive vintage version. The back end has those opening flaps as well, which is fantastic, and a removable bedroll on the back of the bike as well. You can see here on the next side, it also comes with, and this is cool, we didn't do this in the Black Series version back in 2014, it comes with a 3-position clear stand. It's very simple innovation, but it's really cool. You can pose it in different flight levels. So you can see here we've got it in the parked hovering position for figures just lounging around, taking a break, obviously
it's very
being...
casual.
Absolutely, he's just chilling. Being a scout trooper is hard work, so you gotta take a break where you can get it. So that's this particular stand. We have it, or we will have it posed out in the booth, positioned in that higher position for more extreme angled poses. And then it also has a middle position. You can see kind of the nodes there, for more day-to-day flights, just the routine patrols around the galaxy. So great new innovation with that stand. Great new item. Of course, comes with the Biker Scout Trooper figure, the Vintage Collection Scout Trooper. This checks off an original 96er on the original Return of the Jedi card back. We love the card back for this figure. Again, there's a great history in those Kenner card backs of kind of some of these more vehicle-oriented characters. Obviously, the TIE pilot, right, just has the TIE fighter. It's great here. We get the integration of the character and the vehicle that is so iconic and so central to this character. And obviously, as you can see here, it also includes in the background a certain bunker location. We know from our pipeline reveals that the Endor bunker is coming. That was pipeline revealed. We can't wait to show product for that. So we're going to have really nice integration of that Endor bunker scene with a lot of different items and certainly more to come. And also just a few quick notes. Obviously, when we pipeline revealed this, we didn't have many details to share about that trooper. The trooper does come updated with new rocker angles, which we know is, again, great innovation in the figures. We wanted to make sure that we updated it with that definitive edition here, which helps him pose on that bike even better. And he has a new helmet sculpt as well. So not completely newly tooled, but a couple key updates here. And then here we can see the full packaging for the entire offering. So, you know, it's got a great diorama scene that the team built here. Some great action shots of the Scout Trooper on the bike, on the side panels and on the top panels. And really just here again, drew some inspiration from that original Kenner packaging. We didn't want to just recreate it since this was a new and updated offering, but some great cues from that original Kenner style, which is exciting.
I love
So-
the header box too, right? They always just look good on the shelf.
Yeah, I know, it's amazing. 40 years and still just such a timeless design. So I again, love the diorama shots, love what the team does. You've got the little inset there, which harkens back to that Kenner design with the color background. So really cool offering. We're excited to get this into the line, which is very cool. Alrighty, so sticking with the Vintage Collection, we have one more product reveal for the Vintage Collection, but we're moving on to newer entertainment this time. Clearly with The Mandalorian. So obviously we've got, again, one reveal from The Mandalorian. It's going to be a good one. Newly tooled figure. So obviously Mandalorian, right? Recent entertainment is all about The Mandalorian. It's an amazing show. And I don't know about you guys, I love what's going on with Andor as well. But Mandalorian is the Disney Plus. It's the one that started it all on Disney Plus and so toyetic. Andor is great. Mandalorian obviously is best in class for toyetic figures and world building, etc. So we've got our next reveal from The Mandalorian. He's a great figure. He's a world building set. And I will say, I'm very excited to get him out because he does interact with the Razor Crest. So we're getting more of those figures that interact with the Razor Crest, which is particularly important to me. So he is Paz Vizsla. Let's give it up for Paz. Yeah. He's amazing. So this was a figure we definitely wanted to get into the line. Obviously, you know, we saw him first 3 years ago in Mando Season 1. We're glad we waited because, as you'll see, we were able to incorporate some updates very quickly that we saw recently in Book of Boba Fett earlier this year. So he's truly a deluxe figure. He's a big figure. This is definitely a world-building set, and we'll see the packaging. He's got a lot of fun accessories, and again, he's not only kind of large, but there's just a lot going on with this figure, and we wanted to get all of that in there, which made him a world-building set. So he's got his, obviously you can see here, his heavy blaster cannon with that connecting tube to his jetpack, which can be plugged into his jetpack. He also has, you can see here, flame effects at the bottom of his jetpack exhaust, so you can do those in-flight scenes. Moving on to the next slide here, again, here's where we see, which is why we're glad we waited, we can see some of those elements brought in from the Book of Boba Fett. So he comes with his energy shield, which you can plug in to a peg in his arm gauntlet. And we had a lot of fun adding that long knife as well that we saw in Book of Boba Fett that can slide in and out of a holster in his boot. And I think we have him posed out. He'll be in the stand with that knife accessory. And then finally, we can see here on the next slide, a firing effect at the end of his weapon barrels. And again, I love the team did there, that saluting one. That is the one that you can pose out with your Razor Crest. So again, we're getting more and more of those figures that interact with the Razor Crest, which is important. So,
Those blast effects are great too.
I know, yeah.
The
Well,
effect looks so good.
absolutely, and especially a character like this, right? Like, so important with the Mandalorians, the jetpacks are such a key part of the offering, and yeah, the blast effect. Obviously, he is, I think when we first released him for Black Series, he was actually called Heavy Infantry Mandalorian, or something like that. I don't think we knew his name at the time, but yeah, he's all about that heavy firepower, so yeah, really important. Awesome. Very cool. All right, so a quick look at the packaging on the next slide. So again, he's a world building set. Just there's too much stuff there. I think we did the Meldo Crease item, which you could barely see the blister, so that's when we made the move. But such a great diorama scheme here. We really love building out these diorama scenes for the world building sets. For this one in particular, you can see that street scene from Navarro, which is great. So finally, again, pre-order information. We know that's important, so we want to relay that. I have all the details. For all of the vintage items we revealed today, they're all mainline, so they're available at most major retailers, including Pulse, obviously. And as I'm sure you guys know, Pulse has expanded to a few more markets here in Europe. So in the US, Canada, UK, Germany, France, Spain, and Italy. Did I miss anyone?
There's Austria as well now.
Austria, okay, I wasn't quite sure, I didn't want to overstate, but Austria as well. Pre-order will be Tuesday, November 1st at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, which again is 5 p.m. London time. Want to make sure I get that time right. It's definitely 1 p.m. Eastern Time, so check it out. And all of these items will be available in spring of next year, so hopefully coming out soon. So that is it for the vintage collection. Moving on to the Black Series. So obviously you guys know Black Series, our 6-inch scale, that beautiful new collection-based packaging that we launched a couple of years ago. You know, we've done characters from throughout the lore in Black Series, which we love. Obviously classic new entertainment, but also has figures from the extended universe, which is, we're talking all extended universe today. There's not gonna be anything from movies or live action. It's all extended universe, which is great. It's personally one of my favorite parts of the universe. So starting with Knights of the Old Republic Gaming. Yeah, so we've got 2 reveals today, and they're big ones. So first up, joining us in mainline from Knights of the Old Republic, one of the heroes, excited to get her into the Black Series line, it's Bastila Shan. Yeah, she's great. It's great to get her into the line. So obviously Bastila is a legendary Jedi Knight who fought during the Jedi Civil War during the fall of the Old Republic. We wanted to get her into the line for a long time, and we took inspiration and clearly cues from the game. So she comes with a lot of details which we're excited to share. So first, clearly a really cool design and a new portrait. She comes, as you can see, with a flexible skirt. It's got 4 panels on the hips and front and back. They can hang down her back and gives her a great looking silhouette. I think a good solution by the team in order to give that good kind of drape effect, but also allow for those action poses. She obviously, as you can see, she comes with her double-bladed lightsaber, which is actually, it's not, I'm sure you know, it's not yellow. Plo Koon, obviously, we've done in the line in yellow. This is our first gold lightsaber in the line in Black Series, so obviously very accurate to the game itself. And of course, both blades are removable, so you can pose her with just the hilt as well. A look at her packaging here, you know, very iconic, very, you know, recognizable to Bastila, that calm, ready expression. So that's Bastila Shan. Moving to our next Black Series mainline gaming reveal. Now that we've got one of the main heroes, we clearly need someone for her to fight with. One of the main villains. It is, of course, Darth Malak. Yeah, I'm loving the reactions, it's great. So he's another brand new sculpt, new from the ground up. He's a larger figure in general. We're able to do him in mainline because, as you can see, he has a simpler deco scheme. Those are the 2 things that push things out of mainline. So he's looking great. As you can see here, he's got that soft goods cape. Again, that was the right choice based on how it draped for this figure. It attaches under his neck collar. Just obviously a really cool looking lightsaber with that detachable blade, very unique, which was great to get him into the line. His portrait is also unique.
I was just going to say, I think he looks great.
I know, yeah, he will haunt your dreams. He's not a sweet looking guy, yeah.
Terrifying looking.
Exactly, yeah, he will keep you up at night. So that portrait, again, very unique. He has that face mask, of course, which can be opened to show his face underneath. The team worked really closely, the sculpting and engineering team, to have that functioning piece so that you can see that intense portrait underneath, which was so important. And then the packaging again, just a great action shot of him on the front of the pack. And again, you know, the new packaging, we're really excited we're able to showcase the articulation on the great poses that the figures are able to get into. So these are mainline as well, which also of course includes Pulse, those same countries we listed before, and same pre-order details, Tuesday, November 1st at 5 p.m. London time. All right, and keeping things moving, I want to make sure I don't go over my time too much. I think I'm close. So moving on to publishing in a similar vein. Star Wars obviously has a great history of books and comics, just the larger publishing world. We've had a publishing program. What we're seeing here is this year's releases, and we are definitely continuing that publishing program next year. So our first figure for today, we've previously released Sergeant Creel, and we're continuing with another member of the Scar Squad to build out that crew. It is, of course, Mike, our next entry in our Scar Squadron. So Mike has a newly tooled helmet and jetpack. The helmet has really cool elements. Obviously, you know, very similar to a Stormtrooper helmet, but it of course has a mic on the side, hence his name, some scribe details, and a metallic blue visor. The coolest part to me is the jetpack there. It friction fits to the back of the trooper using the existing sculpted detail on his back for the jetpack to press fit on there. So there is not an obtrusive peg, which is really cool. It does articulate by opening and closing, so we can see it fully expand as well as fully close for on the go for Mike. The packaging. One of the things we love most about the publishing is this really cool new packaging style by our package designer, Marie. So this one obviously uses comic art from the various issues of Marvel Star Wars comics, and had really fun with the posing of the render to show off the backpack and his helmet features. So moving on to our next publishing figure. This one is close to my heart. This character actually kicked off, it was in our first wave of publishing back when it was mainline in 2019. This is a different version of that character. She's really popular from the comics. She is, of course, Dr. Aphra. So a new look at this character, exciting to see. This is, of course, how we see her on the cover of the Dr. Aphra comic book. We really tried to closely mimic that cover to differentiate from that previous mainline release of 2019. She comes with a newly tooled scarf and trench coat, and they're soft PVC. You'll see this when we have it posed out in the booth, so that she can flex out of the way and get into those cool poses. And she comes with a blaster pistol that slides into her holster and a removable helmet. And the packaging here, there's so much great artwork to use for Dr. Aphra for the packaging. We wanted to get as many possible as we could in that iconic trench coat. And it's great to see it come to life here. So our final product reveal, it's in this Black Series publishing program.
There's more.
There's more. Product reveal, and then I'll do pipeline fast. So final product reveal, this one's close to my heart. I've been on record in the past saying that a lot of my Star Wars fandom came from the expanded universe, came from the publishing. I'm on the record saying that if I could selfishly do any figure in the line, it would be George Chabab. It's not going to be George Chabab. The time is not quite right for an old shirtless white guy. Hopefully at some point that'll happen. But close to George Chabab, we wanted her in the line for a long time. It's Mara Jade. I'm excited for this one. Yeah.
Those like some good purple, right?
Yeah, amazing purple lightsaber. Obviously, you know, I don't know. I would have to look back if she was the first one in lore mentioned as using a purple one. Obviously, the publishing was before Mace, but I should know that detail. But first time for Mara Jade in the Black Series line. She comes with a newly tooled head and hair, straps, scarf, goggles, and arms. And the team really took inspiration from all of the comics to get her likeness here, which I think they've done a great job. For the accessories, she comes with a blaster that inserts into a functioning holster, and of course her iconic purple lightsaber. She gets the lightsaber later in the comics, but you know, we wanted this to be the definitive Mara Jade, so we included that here. And of course the packaging. It gave us an interesting challenge here. The team had a hard time finding a good cover art for her in this outfit. So they took it from an interior page instead of the cover from Dark Force Rising issue 4. Most of the art in this packaging is from Dark Force Rising, actually, and plus there's one image from Last Command to show that lightsaber. So, excited to see Mara. Our publishing figures are all fan channel exclusives, which of course includes Hasbro Pulse. That's for all of the markets we mentioned earlier: US, Canada, UK, Germany, France, Spain, Italy, and Austria. And again, pre-order time is the same. So that's it for product reveals, but of course we have pipeline reveals. So this is where we give a look further down the pipeline. We're getting into late 2022 now, so these items might not come out until 2023, maybe even early 2024, but we want to give you guys a look down as far as we can go. So we've got a couple of vintage items for pipeline reveal here first, and I'm just going to jump into them. It is Moff Jerjerrod and Cad Bane. So obviously Jerjerrod is continuing our Imperial officers. We're excited to get those into the line. Clearly a 40th of Return of the Jedi. We're going to continue getting those figures into the line. And of course Cad Bane, that amazing entrance, bringing that character into live action at the end of Book of Boba Fett. He's going to be newly tooled in the vintage line, so really excited for him. And then in our Black Series line, we have 4 pipeline reveals today. And you can see them on screen here, so I'll talk through them quickly. As mentioned at PulseCon, we've got a mini beat for the Clone Wars 20th. So we're gonna get Ahsoka in her Snips look out. We've got the Magna Guard, and then we've got that Clone Trooper. And then we're getting Omega, or Omega, I don't know if you guys saw PulseCon talent panel, but obviously conversation around how to pronounce that. Omega in her Season 2 look, the first character we're getting out from Bad Batch. Those will all be mainline. And then our last, it's a future repack. We didn't want to call them pipeline reveals anymore. But we do have a future repack we wanted to announce for vintage. It's going to be Nien Nunb. Obviously for Return of the Jedi 40th, needed to get Nien Nunb out there as well. So that's it for Star Wars. I've gone a little over time, but hopefully we can get it back. We're going to have Q&A at the end. I look forward to fielding any Star Wars questions then, and definitely come by the booth. Love being here. Thank you guys so much. And I think we're moving now to